Hello there, people of the internet. So, in my time of collecting surplus, I just kind of collect things that a lot of people are like discarding or don't want, or, you know, grandpa passed away and hey, I have this stuff, you know, do you want it? Hey, sure, I'll take it. And during my time of collecting, in one of the many batches of just random miscellaneous ammo that I've gathered over time, I got my hands on some 7.65 Argentine Mauser ammunition. This particular stuff is by Norma. So I don't have a 7.65 Argentine Mauser. So whenever I got the ammo, I was like, well, I guess this is basically just going to sit around and do nothing. The bullet diameter is 0.313 inches, so I can't stick it in a Mauser 303 Enfield. I can't use it in AK. I can't really do much with the ammunition. So as that sat around for a while, eventually I was like, you know what? I have the ammunition. May as well pick up the rifle. So I have myself an 1891 Argentine Mauser right here. All right, before we really get started, I want to go ahead and say thanks for watching, but the stuff that I'm doing here is not cheap. This right here is an expensive rifle, and this right here is not cheap ammunition. So I want to say thank you to what few Patreon supporters I have. If you would like to consider assisting me with the work that I do and helping me make future content, consider checking out both Utreon and Patreon, links in the description below. And looking at this Mauser, obviously it's been sporterized. There's been a lot of work that's been done with this thing. They're not exactly desirable rifles to begin with, but I still decided to pick it up just because it was at my local gun store and the guy was asking a very fair price for it. First thing I noticed, the front sight on this thing has been completely redone for a completely different style of front sight. I'm hoping that this front sight has been like zeroed in for 100 yards, because the minimum of the rear sight back here looks like it zeroes in for 400 yards, but I see a separate V-notch right here, so I'm not sure if that's 300 yards, 200 yards, whatever the hell. I'm hoping that this right here zeroes this rifle in for 100 yards. I'm also hoping that I'll be able to see it a little bit easier. In theory I can, but we'll see how true that holds up, you know, whenever I actually go down range and try to put some rounds on target at 100 yards. You know, things tend to blur whenever you're actually shooting at a distance. So this 1891, despite being sporterized, there's a couple of things that I was looking at it. First off, I have myself some holes here that have been drilled and tapped for a scope mount if I for a scope mount if I decide to mount a scope to this thing, and they've actually been done correctly. I can physically see where they ground off the marks to actually well, I have a 1917 where whenever they drilled and tapped the rifle mounting screws, the little screw holes, they probably had a little too much to drink the night before because they're crooked and cockeyed, and whenever I put a scope mount on that thing, one scope mount was pointed like this way and the other one was like in the opposite direction, and there was no way I was mounting a scope to that thing. But this right here, actually, I mean, it looks like it was very finely machined and very accurately measured. I mean, just by judging from my eye, that looks better than I'd be able to do with just my eye. So this right here is an updated version of the Argentine Mauser. I think in 1893 they did some updates, and 1895 they did some updates. First off, locking screw on the magazine. This right here was done to stop the magazine from coming apart. This right here was done in 93, I think. The bolt itself, our extractor, has a different profile to it than the original Argentine Mausers, so that is updated, and the locking lug is a little recessed back from the bolt face, so that is updated. The rear sights on this thing, come on baby, the rear sights on this thing have the updated version of the updated pattern of sight, which is, what the hell is that thing? What is that thing? There's something walking across my yard and I have no idea what it is. It's an animal of some sort, whatever the hell it is. It's like white, and it looks like a, God, I can't even tell from this distance. Well, I'm just gonna leave that thing alone. It looks like it's walking away from me, so I don't think it's gonna prove to be any trouble. So what was I saying? Actually, I think it was the 1900s, maybe around 1910, if memory serves me correctly with these right here. Around 1910 or so, whenever the Argentine adopted a Spitzer cartridge, had an actual Spitzer bullet on it versus the round nose bullets that they were using, they updated their rear sights And this right here, I believe, is one of those updated patterns, and judging by the two different, what would I call these, little locking recesses on the side of the elevator right here to hold the elevator in place, I'm pretty sure that right there's the updated pattern. This right here, the upper handguard, is a smaller size than the normal handguards that I'm used to seeing. I'm pretty sure that was done really early on. So we got some aspects of early rifle, we got some aspects of later updated rifle, and I mean, this might have potentially been some sort of carbine that used a smaller upper handguard. I don't necessarily know myself. I'd know a lot more about this rifle if it was not sporterized. I can say, despite the fact that it is sporterized, the stock on this thing is the original stock. It's got the serial number on it to match, and it's got a bunch of little proof marks down here on the bottom of the stock, which I think is pretty cool. And I really do wish that this rifle was not sporterized, because I mean, this rifle in this shape would actually be really nice, not sporterized. But it has been sporterized, but that's not going to stop me from enjoying it, honestly. That's probably the reason why I got it at the price point that I did. The bore on the inside is actually really, really nice, but I'm willing to bet that the barrel was cut down on this thing, simply because not only do we have a new front sight, but the front of the barrel right here is in the white and has no contours to it whatsoever. So I'm willing to bet that there's a cut down barrel. So odds are, if I had to make a bet, this thing right here, bore is probably, you know, shot out or corroded or something like that. So they just kind of circumcised the tip. Or maybe they were looking for a shorter, handier rifle, and this really is a short, lightweight, compact, handy little carbine. I've never fired this thing. And anyone who knows anything about the 91 and 93 pattern Mausers, and I think the 95 as well, they're a cock on close action, so you're actually fighting spring tension as you close that bolt. I've never fired this thing, so I'm going to do what I always do, 7.65 Mauser right here. Oh, so that's how that magazine works. The feed lips on the magazine just kind of push around the cartridge. Very fascinating. I am used to the 95, 98, 93 pattern magazine, Mauser style magazines. The ones that are double stack and not single stack. This is actually the first single stack Mauser style rifle I've ever had the privilege of playing with. So I've got one round. I'm going to do what I always do with these, and I'm just gonna aim at the dirt, hold this rifle away from me in case it decides to explode. I don't see why it would. But just in case it decides to, as a matter of fact, since this is a new rifle I have not shot, I'm just gonna safety check it real quick. Look down the barrel, no obstructions. Nope, no obstructions, bolts out, so don't go freaking out about me looking down the barrel like that. All right, no obstructions. This right here, I mean, the cartridge went in just fine. Like I said, I'm just gonna hold this away from me, aim at the ground, pull the trigger. We're gonna look at the brass, see if there's any headspace issues, and we're gonna go on from there. This is typically what I do with my newer rifles, just in case they do decide to explode. Hold it away from my face in case that cartridge ruptures. This way I don't get hot gas back in my face. Firing. Whew. Damn, that's got some recoil behind it. Well, it did fire. God damn, it did fire. And our brass, wow, that extracted really, really easily. Oh yeah, our brass looks fine, no deformation, no bulging of any kind. Let's compare it to a non-expanded brass case. I'm not seeing anything that would prove to be a problem here. So that's fantastic. I have a 7.65 Argentine Mauser now. Now that that's done, I'm going to aim at our steel silhouette out there, and we're gonna see if we make a hit on target. I want to see where this front sight has this rifle hitting. Oh, mama! Well, I think I smacked that son of a bitch dead center. Whew. No one told me 7.65 Argentine was such a potent round. Like, Jesus Christ. Well, maybe because this is a very lightweight rifle, but my God, this actually kicks more than my 8mm Mauser. Let me walk down there. Actually, I could see it from here. Yeah, I nailed that son of a bitch dead center. So now I'm gonna spray paint that target. We're gonna walk out to a farther distance. I only grabbed a handful of rounds here. I got 3 more rounds. I'm gonna put them down range and see if I can, you know, make comfortable, accurate hits on target. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, these rounds take a .313 diameter bullet, but I have a lot of .312 diameter bullets for my Mauser and my Enfield and, you know, my AK if I decide to, you know, load for the AK for whatever reason. But I got a lot of 312 diameter bullets. Do I? They might be, yeah. And I'm willing to bet that those 312 diameter bullets will serve me well for the Argentine Mauser. Being 313 diameter versus 312, I don't think that size is going to be large enough to really make any difference. All right, let me go spray paint that, then we'll walk out to a distance. Okay. Oh shit. Hello there. Oh my. Gotta love Florida, guys. This thing just flew over and smacked into the tree. How you doing, buddy? Looks like a really young locust. Big grasshopper. Look at him go. It's all right, buddy. I'm not gonna disturb you. You're fine, I'm fine. Just stay over there. All right, here we are at 100 yards, and I'm realizing that my shooting stand right here, if you look right here on the tree, you can see where my rifles have like blown the bark off the tree, and we got some char marks on this bad boy. I wonder if you were to shoot enough, I guess if you had like a belt-fed LMG or something, if you, just the freaking muzzle blast would eventually burn something to the point to where you can use it as kindling and start a fire. That would be cool. Okay, so I spray painted my target down there, and what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna fire just one single shot and see where this one hits. I mean, it should hit basically center since the last one hit center, but I mean, 100 yards is different than the 50 that we were at, or roughly 40. So I wanna see where this one's gonna hit, if it's gonna hit high or low, and we will move on from there once we reach that point. Let me adjust my wood here. There's been a couple mornings where I've had to say something like that. All right, let's send this. Oh boy! Whew. Wow, that is one potent rifle. I think I hit the target. I think I heard the clink of steel, but let me wander down there real quick and I'll find that out. So I saw a big puff of smoke down there, and I was like, where the hell did I hit? Turns out I hit the concrete underneath the target. The target's sitting on concrete, and it's actually in a little divot. So the target's like sunk down into concrete just from me shooting it so much. And the spalling has cut a hole into the concrete. So I hit a little bit low, and I hit the concrete. I'm gonna aim just a wee bit higher. The windage was good, but the elevation needed just a little bit of adjusting. Let me try that again real quick. I think I hit the ground. I saw a puff of dirt out there, but this round also felt different than the others. It didn't feel as powerful. Let me send this one, because that one right there, I saw like a puff of dirt fly up in front of the target, and I was aiming slightly higher than I was. Maybe this thing just hits a little low. Oh, nope, I heard the clink that time. Oh, and that round felt normal. I'm not sure of the origins of this ammunition, but yeah, that one we hit, and that one was quite potent. So let me wander down there one more time, and I'm going to see where I hit. I want to see where I hit on the dirt. I mean, although this is Norma ammunition, they might be like different projectiles or something like that, so like I said, I'm not 100% sure on the origins of this ammunition. So let me wander out there. I'm going to see where I hit. I might have different ammunitions out here that hit at different spots, but the stuff, whatever stuff I have that is really potent and smacking into my shoulder, that stuff seems to be hitting right where I'm wanting it to hit. The other stuff looked like I hit the dirt, but I'm gonna have to go out there and actually visually see, because I can't see it from here. All right, so here's what we're looking at. One round I put into the ground right here. Very potent round. One round I put into the ground right there just to make sure the rifle was working. One round I put onto the steel, and then I spray painted the steel. And then one round I held at the bottom of the target because I was expecting to hit high. and we actually hit the concrete right here. That is a fresh, smashed concrete smack. And then the next round felt funny, and I saw dirt. Looks like we hit the ground right here, despite the fact I was aiming for the center of the target. Last round felt normal, and we hit pretty much the center of the target right there. So I'm gonna chalk that one up to just the ammunition being different. I'm not sure how old this ammunition is. I'm not sure the origins of it. I'm not sure about anything about this this Norma ammunition that I'm rocking right now. So I can definitely say beyond all reasonable doubt that that one did definitely feel different than the other ones that I was firing. It might have been a lighter load. I mean, who the hell knows what happened? Maybe the gunpowder didn't burn all that great. Like I said, I don't know anything about the origins of this ammo. But I do know that the other rounds basically hit exactly where it is that I was aiming, the ones that felt like they were full power rounds. So I was aiming low, and I definitely hit low on that one. I was aiming center mass, and I definitely hit center mass on that one. I was aiming at the dirt, and definitely hit the dirt over there. This one was the only oddball flyer, but that happens sometimes. Well, I guess I'm doing the outro with Kevin in the background, so thanks for being my co-host again, Kevin. Oh, we got Kevin right over there as well. How you doing, Kevin? What are you doing over there? Just being a peacock, huh? Man, that's the best way to do anything, being a peacock. Okay, I like this rifle, and honestly, my buddy has let me borrow several rifles that were all made in Loewe, L-O-E-W-E. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Somebody in the comments tell me how that's actually pronounced. Loewe, Berlin. So after borrowing several rifles from him that were made in Loewe, Berlin, I decided I needed to get one for myself. So I went ahead and I did that. I like how accurate this rifle is, and I'm willing to bet it's because the rifling on it is basically new since, you know, the barrel's been circumcised. So this was a lot of fun. I'm very happy that this rifle works as well as it does. And the 7.65 Argentine ammunition, wow, that is a potent round. It sure smacks with some authority, and it makes sense being 7.65 by 53. I mean, that's larger than 308. I'm not entirely sure about the ballistics. I imagine it depends on the loading it is that you're using, you know, the powder, the bullet, the projectile. There's a lot of things that go into the ballistics of what you're going to expect from a cartridge like this. I don't like spouting ballistics of certain cartridges, like, for example, the 30-06. The M2 ball round, I mean, that was a 150 grain bullet, but I mean, there's, you know, 120 grain, there's 100 grain, there's 220 grain, there's quite a lot of bullets for 30-06, and man, they really change the performance depending on what it is that you're going to use. Same thing with the Argentine Mauser. They change the performance of what it is that you're going to be rocking based on what it is that you're going to be using. So I have no idea how fast this Norma ammunition was going. I'm not sure how heavy the bullets were. Like I said, it was just some miscellaneous ammo that I had laying around, and I still have more of it, and I'm probably going to take this rifle hunting at one point or another, because with it being cut down and sporterized, not only am I not worried about scratching it up or anything, but it's got sling swivels on it there and there, so that's going to make carrying it around really convenient and easy, and it's extremely lightweight for what it is. And 7.65 Argentine is apparently a very potent round, so I should be able to take basically anything I want to take with that thing. Anyway, folks, where was I? I figure I'll go ahead and I'll do the outro here, so thanks for watching, folks. I really do appreciate it. If you like this kind of stuff, subscribe to the channel. Description down below has a link to all sorts of stuff. Go ahead and go check that out. Description, I already said that. Like the video if you like the video. Is that everything? Is that my entire outro? I have a Utreon now, by the way, that I'm going to be putting really interesting, unusual stuff that I can't necessarily put on YouTube. Things that are a little bit more spicy, and things that YouTube kind of crosses their fingers over. They're like, oh God, this is going to irritate the Karens that sign our paychecks. So, yeah, go ahead and go check out my Utreon. If you want to support, that's a good place to do it. If you don't want to support, then hey, you don't have to support at all to go watch the content over there. So go ahead and go check that out. I'm being eaten alive and sweating my ass off because of how humid it is out here right now. So I'm gonna go take cover in some air conditioning. You guys go off, have yourself a fantastic day. I've done this. Bonnie and Clyde be damned. Poor man's Garen. It's a shame that bolt-action shotguns aren't more mainstream.